Hi, welcome to Shalom, Ottawa. My name is Benita Simiatiki. For this month's show, we are starting off with looking at the younger generation. We have a segment on the emerging gen that the Federation is working with, and I have as my guest Samantha Banks,
Hi.
who is the director of the emerging generation, and Lauren Seller, who is the one of the volunteers, a leader with the emerging generation. And welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Samantha, I'll start with you. You're relatively new to the Federation. You started, how long have you had this position for?
I became the Director of Initiatives for the Emerging Generation in October. I moved from Toronto to Ottawa and started the adventure.
Okay, so about 6 months ago approximately. What are your responsibilities?
I help with downtown programming. I help with organizing events, networking. I am sort of this young adult community liaison, connecting and uniting different people in the Ottawa Jewish community to help with Jewish initiatives and integrate other community agencies.
Okay, and it's a new position that was created.
Brand new.
Do you know why the Federation felt it was important to create this new position, just focused on that demographic?
Absolutely. So they conducted a symposium called Open Ottawa, and the voice of the emerging generation indicated that there needs to be someone or a staff person supporting the initiatives that were sprouting up all over. There's incredible grassroots movements that have started up in Ottawa, and someone just to help sort of facilitate and connect them to each other is sort of why I'm here.
Okay. Lauren, who is the emerging gen? What is that? What ages are that demographic?
Well, realistically, being a kid that grew up in Ottawa, I've been here all my life. I went to the Jewish schools. I did Hillel and Yitzhak Rabin, and there was always something around there. But after high school, it's almost like you're forgotten. You're not. The activities aren't geared towards you anymore. So, Sam's job, I think, would look at kids or young adults from 18, 19 up until you're adults, or getting married and you're ready to start a family and put your kids back through the same system.
Okay, so kind of roughly, I don't know.
18 to 26.
I was going to say late 20s, early 30s.
We call it the
like
T and Ts, the 20s and 30s.
Okay.
But it comes down to stage of life as well. Before kids, just newlyweds, finishing grad school, or just getting into grad school.
Even university kids, you're getting a lot of those now wanting to participate too.
Okay. Were you involved in this symposium, Open Ottawa?
I was not. I was away for school at that point.
So, Samantha, what were the outcomes of that symposium that you are now trying to implement?
So, a big project that we've been working on this year is called JNet Connect, which is a magazine attached to an ambassador program, which welcomes newcomers who are maybe have gone to university, like Lauren here, went to McGill's, coming back to Ottawa, or brand new people who are just in for a few years working on the Hill, so our Newcomers Initiative. We've also started a Shabbat dinner initiative welcoming young adults to join community tables and families who have opened their homes if they weren't going to someone else's place, for example. A lot of our initiatives, we've evolved our online strategy, trying to get more in the social realm, social media realm, Facebook, Twitter, and we've also started a sports initiative. We put 2 sports teams in the winter, OSSC League, which is the Ottawa Sports Social Club. We did floor hockey and inner tube water polo, and this summer, Lauren
Participating in softball.
Yeah, and we're doing soccer and some really great programs, which we welcome everyone to come join us for.
So it sounds like you're trying to create a lot of breadth of activities to interest people, with different interests.
Right.
Is that right?
Because not everyone's going to be interested in the same thing. So
Right.
if you have a variety of activities or a variety of events to attend, then you'll get more of a crowd, start meeting more people, and build a larger network.
Yeah, sure. Do you have a sense of whether you're attracting people that were not involved before?
Absolutely. So I've expanded sort of the emerging generation network over the past few months to around 200, 250 people. And we're gauging that by how many clicks we get on our newsletters, to people attending events, to the people I talk on a daily basis. But our programs are so wide ranged. For example, we have a mentorship initiative that's connecting young adults to lay leaders that are experts in their field. So anything from educational to social to maybe more cultural, we're tapping into everyone's sort of niches, as we call them. So our numbers just keep growing exponentially.
Lauren, what do you know, or what do we know, what does the Federation know, or your group, about the demographics of who you're dealing with, like, you know, in terms of their involvement with the Jewish community?
I think it's a tricky age group to get involved. And that with this, I think you are getting more involved slowly. It takes time though. So this year you're gonna get some kids. Next year you'll get even more. And hopefully in the years to come, you'll have everybody within this age group being involved and volunteering and being out there more than originally were in the past.
Yeah. Are there any outcomes from Open Ottawa that you haven't gotten around yet to, that you see sort of in the further future to implement?
Absolutely. So everything's been started a little bit. Something is on the agenda right now is we're creating an innovation fund with two elements. One is a small granting component and another is a larger granting component. And for example, the small granting component, you want to host a Shabbat dinner. You want to buy t-shirts for your soccer team. You can apply, and hopefully we have a very short turnaround that you can get funding for an initiative that you want to do. So sort of the initiative, like the program at the Federation, sparking this light to allow the young adults to fly in whatever direction they want.
Okay, and this is funded by the Federation?
Correct.
Like these funds? When you are trying to reach out, and it's probably difficult to do that kind of outreach, like what kind of messaging are you using to try to attract the group that you want to attract?
I think it's predominantly social media and word of mouth. Social media has taken over.
Yeah.
You put something on Facebook or you put something on Twitter, and the next thing you know, 500 people are looking at it, 800 people are looking at it. So in the world we're living in today, that's the quickest way to reach the most amount of numbers.
In terms of the context of the message, is there something that you have to say to them that you wouldn't necessarily say to an older crowd? Like, are they more receptive to certain types of messages? I don't know do you know what I mean?
Well, it kind of almost an incentive. And I think what me and Lauren have worked on really a lot this year is trying to create interesting, specialized, creative events. And it's sort of what sparks the individual. It's hard to, like we went to Vegas to a conference called Tribe Fest. We're going to Israel in a few weeks on the Ottawa Social Action Mission. These things are unbelievable opportunities, and they attract different people.
Okay. I think we have to wrap up. I just wanted to ask, how many people are involved in the leadership of your group?
It grows every day.
It does, eh?
It really does. JNet is a young adult organization that does events in smaller groups, events, and they have a very strong committee of volunteers. I would say top leaders, we have around 15 to 30. It's like, it depends. Each initiative, sort of a new person sprouts up.
Okay, and I know you brought the magazine,
Yes,
JNet Connect.
This is our new magazine for newcomers.
Okay.
It has an unbelievable guide from anything to living in Ottawa, playing in Ottawa, eating in Ottawa, partying in Ottawa. And I encourage everyone to contact me, and I can send you a copy. Or
Super.
Facebook
and we'll
me.
put your contact information on the screen.
Perfect.
Samantha and Lauren, thank you very much for coming in to talk about this initiative. It's wonderful.
Thank you.
It's sort of the future of the community. Stay tuned. We're going to take a break right now, and we'll be right back with a birthday party. Hi, welcome back to Shalom, Ottawa. Now we're turning our attention to Ha'atZmaut, which is coming up next week, and I have as my guest Penny Torontow, who is the chair of the Ha'atZmaut committee, and welcome, Penny.
Thank you.
Penny, what is Ha'atZmaut?
It's Israel's Independence Day.
And
it's a celebration of the day that Israel became a country.
And do you know how many years it is?
I better know. It's the 64th.
Okay. Is it a big deal in Israel?
It is a huge deal in Israel, and I think it's a huge deal for Jewish people all over the world.
Mm-hmm. So what is happening in Ottawa? What is our community celebration?
Well, in the last few years, we've been fortunate enough to turn Ha'atZmaut into a big party, into a big celebration, the way it's celebrated without the barbecue, but the way it's celebrated in Israel. And this year we are at the CE Center on the night, the evening of April 26th. Where the CE Center is the new convention center near the airport.
Yeah.
They have a huge space. We have all sorts of activities planned, lots of fun entertainment for the kids, the professional entertainment group. We have all the agencies coming, so many interactive games, and we have great food, of course, from David Smith, Creative Kosher, has a great Israeli buffet that he puts on. And this year we have something a little special. We're screening a new movie that has not really hit the ground yet. It's a documentary called Israel from the Inside, and it's a non-political, non-religious, really, really great look at the real Israel and what makes Israel so fantastic.
It's made by an Israeli filmmaker?
It's made actually, I don't know the name of the people who have produced it, but the State of Israel Bonds is sponsoring it for us. And we're screening it for the first time in conjunction with many cities around the world. They've tried to get this to be something that everybody's doing at Ha'atZmaut. So we're screening it along with many, many cities around the world for the first time. So many people are going to see it for the first time. It's wonderful. I've had the privilege of seeing it, and it's a great look at Israel.
How long is it?
It's a little less than an hour.
Okay. So is it being aired at a particular time that people have to arrive at?
It has. It's being aired at 5:30. It's going to be in a separate room, a private.
Okay.
It's almost like a private screening. It'll be away from all the noise and all the hoopla of the party. So it has limited seating. So the first 120 people that sign up for the first show will get to see the movie first.
Tell me about the event itself, the time frame that it takes place.
So it pretty much starts at 5 o'clock. I mean, I always say people kind of start to straggle in around 4:30. It starts at 5. The food will be ready to be served starting at 5. We have, this year we have a draw actually. We have a survey that people have been able to fill out, and we have a draw. We have a raffle for 4 free meals that will be given out at the beginning of the event. At 5:30 we have our first children's show, which is a buskers children's entertainment show to keep the kids occupied. Then the music, of course, will have been started. The music will continue on. Then we have some greetings around 6:30. We have greetings from the ambassador. Hopefully we have greetings from abroad. We're hoping to get some greetings from Israel. And then we'll continue. We'll have another show. Around 7:30, we'll have another show for the kids, and the music and the dancing will go on all night.
All night?
Well, as long as we can keep them there.
What age groups is it aimed at in terms of the kids?
It's aimed at all age groups.
Okay.
We hope that every walk of life, every age group from the whole community comes. We have 30 agency tables. The agencies all come out from Hillel to Namat to all the agencies that are in the city, Magen David, Adom. They all come out and they expose themselves to the Jewish community. There's games, there's interactive activities, there's music. So we hope that everybody comes out and shows their pride in the State of Israel.
And you mentioned dancing. Is it the public that will be? Are there dancers, specific dancers, or it's the
Well, we're
the
still
guests
working
who
on
are-
the Israeli folk dancers. We're still
Okay.
not sure. We're hoping, but we have lots of Israeli music, and so I'm sure the Israeli folk dancing will get going. But we're talking about dancing just like you would dance at any kind of celebration.
Okay. In terms of dignitaries, I know the Israeli ambassador is often there. Do you know if she'll be there again?
She should be.
Okay.
Her
And
and-
any other dignitaries? that
We
you
do
know of?
invite some of the MPs. I'm not sure if they come. The Israeli embassy holds their own celebration with the dignitaries. They do usually they do some kind of reception separate. But we do invite some, whether they come or not.
Yeah.
We never
How
know.
many people do you expect?
Well, we're always hoping. We're prepping for next year because next year's the big one. Next year's the 65th, so we should expect over 1,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, we hope. We've changed the venue, and we hope that everybody comes down. It's in a fantastic place. It's a great space.
What led to changing the venue? You've been at Lansdowne for a long time.
Well, unfortunately it actually was kind of it's bittersweet because it's a new place, so it's a new beginning for us.
Yeah.
Lansdowne is with the issues at Lansdowne will be changing what they'll be doing there. Plus, they weren't available this year for that night.
Okay, so it sounds like a big birthday party, a big bash, lots of stuff going on for all age groups, plus the opportunity to visit booths from different community agencies and see what the community has to offer as well.
That's exactly what it is, and it's also a great way for everybody to come together and just be together, and knowing that we're all celebrating, Israel's birthday, and that's what it is.
And to have a great Israeli buffet.
And to have some great food too.
Okay, Penny, thanks very much for coming on the show, and good luck with your event. And we forgot to say the date.
April 26th.
At 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
Okay. So we'll see you on April 26th at 5 o'clock at the CE Center, and please stay tuned because there's more Israel coming up. Hi, welcome back to Shalom, Ottawa, and we are going from Israel's birthday party to a trip to Israel, and we're going with AJA 50+, and I have as my guests Amette Paquin, who's the Executive Director of AJA 50+, and Arnold Finkelsetin, who is the President of AJA 50+. And welcome to both of you, and thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Amette, I guess I should first ask you, for anyone who doesn't know, what is AJA 50+?
AJA 50+ is an organization here in Ottawa. AJA stands for Active Jewish Adults, 50+, over the age of 50. And it's an organization run by volunteers. And we do all kinds of programming and all kinds of activities for people, mainly who are retired, but some people are still working or working part-time. And it builds a real camaraderie, offers community, and it's a really wonderful organization.
Are you affiliated with any organization like a synagogue or the JCC, or are you independent?
We're an independent organization, and we do have agreements with the JCC, for example, for using space. So we do a lot of our programming there, but we're not affiliated with any synagogue. We're not a religious organization. We're a Jewish organization, and we take a lot of pride in the fact that we are very inclusive. So from wherever you are in the community, there's a place for you at AJA.
Okay, thank you for that summary. And now let's talk about your trip. So Amette, I know that almost 2 years ago, AJA led a trip to Israel, and you're doing it again.
We are.
So what are the dates of the upcoming trip?
This year, the trip is October 10th to 22nd. It's 13 days, and it comes right after the high holidays. So before people want to get planning their trips for the winter or going away in the winter time, and just immediately after the holidays, it's a really nice time to have a little break. The weather in Israel at that time is excellent. So we'll be going in the shoulder season.
And Arnold, over to you. You're the president of AJA, but you also were a past participant in the last trip, right?
Yes, us and about slightly more than 30 people. And we all had I would call a very interesting trip. We did things a little bit differently. Primarily, we met with people in Israel, children, teachers, professors, armed forces staff. It was very interesting, a very busy schedule.
So will the upcoming trip be similar to the last one, Arnold?
The plan is to be more of the last one. The theme last time was primarily Israel today. This one is going to be more of a cultural look at Israel in terms of things like artists, art, plus things along similar veins like we did last time.
So, Amette, can you give me an example of the kind of the destinations that you have lined up?
We're starting in Tel Aviv, and in Tel Aviv we're going to explore the art scene, which is very vibrant. There's a new design museum, the Holon Design Museum, which is just outside of Tel Aviv, which is on our schedule. And we are going to be meeting gallery owners and meeting artists, as well as taking in the architecture, the White City. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And so we'll be actually having the opportunity to view that. We'll also be seeing some of the environs of Tel Aviv. And then we will be going down into the Negev and experiencing the desert in different ways, visiting the military Air Force base down there, also visiting a Bedouin town, and speaking with the women of the town. So very unusual. Mostly when Bedouin offer hospitality, it's the men who offer hospitality. And so this is a different kind of thing where we're going to be meeting with the women who are actually running a cooperative. And their goal is to create a cooperative and make money for their daughters to go to university. It's a very different way that the Bedouin life is taking. And in the process, we're going to see the kind of art that they do and the work that they do. We'll be visiting farms and kibbutzim in the Negev as well. We'll be going down to Eilat. From Eilat, we have an optional tour to Petra. And then we'll be heading back up to Jerusalem and seeing many things in Jerusalem. We've got some amazing speakers. We're having a session on ethics in the IDF by one of the commanders, and we are going to be doing a geopolitical tour of Jerusalem, as well as food, of course. Food, art, history. That's right. And we also have an optional tour to the West Bank and into Efrat this time.
So the optional tours would add on to the 13 days. Is that correct?
No, they're part of the 13 days.
Oh, they're part of the 13 days.
People will have a choice on a couple of days of what they wanted to do. So if we're in Eilat, you can choose to tour Eilat. You can choose to take the day to go to Petra, or you could choose to go to Timna and kibbutzim in the Arava.
Arnold, in your last tour, Rabbi Stephen Garten was the scholar in residence, and I understand he's doing it again. What does he add to your tour?
Well, of course, he has a great knowledge of Israel and also some historical perspective. So when we are visiting various sites, he can provide some context for the site. Why is it important to Judaism? For what reasons? Plus, of course, he can also lead us during the Shabbat services, should we want to. And he also is just a very personable person to be with.
So it's having a full-time educator with you all the time.
Exactly. And also an opportunity people can to provide questions about various subjects as you go along. They do come up from time to time, and he can find very interesting perspective on that.
Amette, do you have to be an AJA member to be part of the group?
What we want is for people who are over the age of 50, though if you have a partner who's over the age of 50 and you're under 50, we still would welcome you. Yes, AJA membership is required, but it's not very much.
It's a fraction of the trip, right?
It's only a few dollars a year. It's
Yeah.
$36 a year, so
Okay.
that would be just in addition.
Okay.
And then you have also all the advantages of being an AJA member with programming the rest of the year, including Israel type programming and cultural programming in Ottawa.
Is there a size of the group, like where you're going to cap it at?
We are looking, last time we went with a group of 36, and it was a different type of group. We were heading up in the north last year, and we're able to accommodate more. And at this time, we're looking at about 25 people for this trip.
Okay, so even fewer than last year.
Yes, and I think it'll be a very intimate group. I think that the sense of community that you get in a group that size, even though the last time we had 36, we had a wonderful sense of community. So.
What was the feedback generally from the last trip? Like, do you expect, repeaters on this trip? I know
I
you
think
are.
I'll have to let
Well,
Arnold speak to that one.
I guess the best way to look at it is that of all the people who actually went on the last trip, almost everybody would like to go back. One of the reasons, of course, the focus is on the south is because last time we went north.
Right.
And there will be a significant number of people who will be repeating.
You think so?
Oh, for sure. We know we already have a number. I got myself included and my wife. So.
What is the cost of the trip?
The ground only is just under $3,000, $29.99, and then there's airfare on top of that. People
Right.
can book their own airfare, but we have block seats at $1,500.
Okay. And how would anyone get more information if they want to
They-
pursue this?
They can find us on the AJA website at aja50plus.ca,
Okay.
or they can contact me directly,
Okay.
Annette Paquin, or AJA 50 plus.
Okay. And we'll put that on the screen.
Thank you.
We have to wrap up now. I want to thank both of you very much, and good luck on this trip. It sounds like you're going to have a full house again.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching the April show of Shalom, Ottawa. My name is Benita Simiatiki, and we'll see you next month.
Alle Schwester, oi, oi, alle Schwester, also wir ruchen Russen, Esther, oi, oi, oi. Ay, 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 ay,